Hey, what's up dudes, Craze here, back with another Anthem video for you guys, and today I'm going to show you a very powerful build I've been running in the past couple of days to clear out the stronghold on the maximum difficulty, which in the demo is of course hard. And not that the stronghold can't be done with other loadouts, but I found this playstyle to be really awesome and it made clearing up some of the more difficult paths so much easier. With this build I was able to pull out numbers higher than most of the abilities in the game, and sometimes on par or even exceeding the ultimates in terms of raw damage. It's also extremely good against big enemies with its massive single target damage, so if you're going against those bosses, those Yor 6, or maybe even the Titans, this is going to be perfect for you. This build will obviously be for the Ranger, and they call it the Devastating Sniper build for the reasons you'll see later in this video. So if you guys enjoyed this and want more Anthem builds, make sure to hit that like button and let's get started. So let's start up with the actual setup. As you can see, I maxed out on rare gear with probably the highest gear score you can get right now, around 134 overall, unless you get like masterwork, which is like super hard. But at level 15 this is going to be pretty much what you can do. This part is a bit important as all of these numbers will also influence your damage multiplier to some extent. You see that gear score over there, it's kind of going to influence the type of damage you're going to be doing as well as your defenses. Not sure what the theory crafting behind this is, at least not yet, but it's definitely playing a role. I'm going to first move on to the weapons, by the way, as these are a central piece to what makes this build so insane. As you can see, I'm running a Defender assault rifle and the Devastator sniper rifle, which is basically the huge damage dealer of this build. This sniper rifle is absolutely crazy, but it's also supported by other abilities and passives I have in my loadout. Now you don't have to run with the assault rifle I'm running here. I personally chose this one because it has good stats, a high rate of fire, and it's a good all-around weapon at doing fast and precise damage, but you can change it with something else like a shotgun or even a light machine gun if you like that. But moving on to the Devastator sniper rifle, this is what you'll want to carry with you at all times, as this is the central piece of this build. There are many sniper rifles in the game, some of which might even have higher raw damage numbers on them, like for example this Deadeye sniper rifle I have over here, which is also good, but it is missing one key component that the Devastator has and that makes the Devastator so much better, and that is the inscription on it that reads "Ammunition explodes on contact with target limited ammo." What this means basically is that you'll first have to charge up the shot with the rifle before releasing it, which takes like a fraction of a second, so it shouldn't be that much. You just need to do a long press before shooting. This will make it so that not only will you deal high explosive damage in an area, but the charge up will multiply it, and the weak point damage bonus on top of that will make you achieve some crazy results. I mean, I'm able to pull at least 2000 white damage, and that is of course against armored enemies, 7 to 8000 damage, maybe even 10,000 sometimes on regular crit points, and close to 15,000 in fights against bosses who have weak points. So it's absolutely crazy. To give you a comparison with the normal Ranger ultimate, I do nowhere near as much as damage with that ultimate on the end insect boss inside the stronghold as I do with a well-placed shot from the Devastator sniper rifle. The same goes with the Yor 6 and the Titans on hard difficulties, and they are so easy to kite, very easy to hit in the weak points, and about 3-4 shots, which is like one less than a full clip, will pretty much down it with ease. It's also amazing at ripping through shields, which are very hard to deal with on hard difficulty if you don't have any electric damage at you, so it's definitely going to be helpful at that as well. It also has a great AoE explosion, which is quite good at clearing groups from afar, but you need to have them clamped up in order to do that. And what else can I even say? It's very easy to master thanks to its amazing precision, and it's an all-around very fun build to do. Now in terms of inscriptions, as you can see, my Devastator is pretty much best in slot at this level and rarity. Despite some percentages being visually bugged, you can see them giving percentages to weak points damage, and there's another one for sniper rifle damage. There's also a 20% spare ammo increase, which means that I can use this one for longer and I don't need to use ammo pickups that much, so it's going to be pretty much perfect for for me. With that in mind, let's take a quick look at the component section though, and I currently have only 2, that's the maximum you can unlock in this demo. One of them is the rare assault rifle ammo, and this is like something that I had to pick, but this one increases my javelin's health and armor for quite a bit, but it also gives me a sniper rifle ammo by 5%, and this is how you're going to do your min-maxing. You're going to have to check these inscriptions because sometimes they might benefit your general build. The other 2 inscriptions on it deal with survival, so I'm going to leave them as that, but they are also important as they keep me alive for longer. You can also get yourself a component that strictly goes for the sniper rifle ammo. I was not able to find that one yet, I'm still looking for one, but that should buff your damage even more, somewhere around 10 to 20% on top of what you already have, which is already insane. The second component is the shield reinforcement, which again brings a little bit more survivability with a lot of armor bonus. The best inscription on this one is of course the additional javelin spear ammo, and this means I can shoot for a little bit longer. Normally, if you were to look at for inscriptions, you'd be looking for something like weak point damage, sniper rifle damage, and sniper rifle ammo in order to have this build maximized as much as possible. Every other defensive buff in there would be to help you survive longer, and trust me, you will need quite a lot of that on the hard difficulty on some of the encounters, and especially since you'll be doing so much damage and aggroing some of the mobs at certain times. Now in terms of abilities, since I've specialized this build on single target boss damage and weak point damage, I've also picked up some very high damage single target oriented gear pieces. In the assault launcher slot, I've got the Seeking Missile, which does a whooping 1000 damage, almost 1000 damage on a 7-second cooldown, which is further reduced with its inscription. This ability also acts as a detonator, so if you use your electric mace on the enemy, you can detonate it, or you can detonate the primers that your other party members are setting up on the targets. In the grenade category, we have the Sticky Grenade, which is absolutely amazing for weak points. It does a huge 1062 damage, you can easily attach it to weak points, and it comes with an additional recharge percentage, but unfortunately the tooltip is bugged. The Sticky Grenade also seems to take into account weak point damage, so if you attach it to a weak point, to an exposed area, or to the head region, you're going to typically see its damage being doubled or even tripled, and it's going to be somewhere around 2000 and 3500 depending on the debuffs it has. Now, since this is all single target oriented, does not mean it cannot take groups of enemies. The Sticky Grenade still has an AoE, even though it's a small one. You also have the Seeking Missile to detonate stuff, as well as the assault rifle for fast clearing, and let's not forget about the ultimate, which is also impressive at clearing out the groups of enemies, but I'm not going to lie, there are better alternatives if you want to go full AoE, so you can switch up the Sticky Grenade with either the Inferno or the Frost one, but you can pretty much keep the Seeking Missile as it's very powerful. Now in terms of support, I'm going to give you 2 choices. Obviously those are the only ones available. For the maximum absolute DPS, obviously the Master Point is, well, a must, as it buffs your damage by quite a lot, making your sniper rifle dead shots even deadlier. But that is the ideal you're not going to always get, as not all the party members will try to bring in support abilities, so you can definitely go ahead and switch it up with the Bulwark Point. It's going to be really useful for those party members who keep going down and need resurrecting, so yeah, carry it with you if you're doing pubs. But now that you have a general understanding of how the setup goes, let's take a look at some of the combat strategies you should be taking into account when out in the world or doing dungeons. In the stronghold scenario I was mentioning, since most zones have some very powerful and annoying turrets, you'll want to be the one that takes them down very fast. 2 or 3 shots per turret should be enough while your party deals with the trash mobs, so you should stay in the back a little bit, aim for the turrets, and only engage with the trash mobs once you've cleared out all of the turrets. In the meantime, you can also pick up the ammo in case you go down on that and you need to reload. On the end boss, and especially after taking down its outer layer, strictly aim for the sides and the tail for maximum damage, without even buffing my damage and without even having as good gear as I had in the beginning of the video. You can see that the damage I'm doing is in the high 13,000s pure damage, and I think at some point I even got like almost 17,000, and this was on hard difficulty. For the Earth 6 encounters, these I have found to be very easy with this build, even as a solo. You can engage from afar, aiming a couple of headshots before you get charged. When the enemy gets close to you, you can throw a sticky grenade to its head for that bonus weak point damage, and immediately dodge and also throw a missile in the process, and at this point you should need no more than 2 shots to completely finish off the beast on the highest difficulty. The same goes with the Titans and the flame-throwing Colossus. Aim the back and the arms, and yeah, you're gonna see them melt before you even empty your clip if you do this properly. For everything else, use headshots. Even enemies with shields die fast, and if they don't, you still have 2 very high damaging abilities for them. Finally, I'm also going to mention this build's weakness so you know what you're up against. First, it's the obvious low clip size on the rifle, which means that you'll need to make every shot count. Second, you will need to be very good at positioning yourself and breaking line of sight quick enough in case you pull the aggro. Master these 2 and you'll pretty much master the build, and that shouldn't be hard to begin with. But with all of this being said and done, this has been today's Anthem Ranger build. I'm going to be posting a lot more of these builds from now on, so stay tuned for more of that. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up on it. Also hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later, so peace.